What's up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Spikeball and Roundnet fans of all ages? We are your hosts with the most toast. My name is Dylan Fogarty, and with me I have Chris Hornacek. Chris, why don't you say hi?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And we are going to be giving you guys a little bit of a breakdown on a video gameplay of the first stop on the West Coast tour, which was in San Diego. This particular match will have Bunz Gunz, Cody Thompson, and Austin Fraker.
Yes, Fraker.
Versus Chico Spikes, which is Sean Boyer and Skylar Bowles.
Yeah, so this took place a couple weeks ago. As time of recording, we're going to talk about these teams as they were going into the match, though. Austin Fraker and Cody Thompson of Bunz Gunz coming in the player poll at number 7 after a very impressive run at Nationals, and obviously Chico Spikes on top, as everybody knows. 3-time national champions, of course, you're going to have that number 1 seed going in.
And of course, if you guys don't know what the seeding was kind of like in this tournament, Bunz Gunz actually had a really difficult road to the finals. They actually had to take out TPCV in the quarterfinals and then had a really long, really intense 3-set match against the number 1 seed of the tournament, Handsome Beavers, in the semifinals, and were able to knock them out, I believe, in extra points in Game 3 to make it to the finals. While Chico Spikes, they received, I believe, the 2 seed, and they had to get through DP, which was actually myself and Preston from California, and they took us out in 3 games to reach the final. So both semifinals went 3 games. Obviously, we're at the end of a long day. You see the beautiful sunset going down. You really start to question, especially on sand, the first tournament of the season, what these guys' endurance level is like, how ready are they going to be for the finals. So let's just jump into the video and see how this played out.
Alrighty, here we go. Looks like we got an intense game of rock, paper, scissors here. As per usual, the West Coast enjoys their 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Everywhere else, the Midwest, East Coast, Southeast, it's 1, 2, 3 shoot, but the West Coast players were insistent today on doing 1, 2 shoot. I don't really understand it. Let's see what kind of impact that makes on the match.
That is very true. This might be huge. It looks like Chico won. Ooh, wow. Huge serve out of Cody Thompson to start off the match.
Cody Thompson has a really interesting serve because it is such an extreme sidearm. When that catches the net properly, it can be a just absolute laser at your knees or blow. Unfortunately, the big thing with Cody is just accuracy. Sometimes he does hit front rim a lot, back rim a lot, because it is just such a precise angle.
All right, well, 2 missed serves back and forth. Looks like it's 2-1 going into this point right here. Chico with a kill.
And Chico did a great job of that in particular in this tournament, doing little drop shot angles, just reading the defense perfectly and not hitting hard.
All right, 1, 2. Here it is. Huge body out of Sean and a quick slap with the left to put that ball away. Huge break point for Chico there, undoing the damage done in the first point.
And Sean is obviously known as Mr. Consistent, and he's got an equally good left as he does his right there. And as you mentioned, just incredible timing and great body by Sean. Oh, Fracker with a huge hit. That is crazy. When he is set up properly, he can hit just as hard as anyone in the game.
Yeah, you can see his muscles really doing a lot of work for him there. He's known as probably the prettiest boy in Spikeball, I'd say. How about... Would you agree?
You know, I think Jarrett actually was really close in that regard.
That's true.
That flow, honestly, you can't beat it.
Yeah, West Coast players certainly working on their abs as they're playing on beach shirtless most of the time. Huge point though for Bunz Gunz there.
So I'm interested to see. If they're rotating every 5 points, you see that sun is very low in the sky right now, and that can make a huge impact, especially when you're staring towards the water. So when you're serving at someone who's staring at the sun, you obviously have a huge advantage in that regard.
Oh yeah, for sure. Elements will come into play. Chico known for coining the Chico shuffle around the net in order to even out the elements.
Fracker, another huge right hand. It's very interesting. You see, Chico plays a defense that's very unlike a lot of defenses, where they kind of just watch, and then react at the last second. What's so impressive is how many touches they get on the ball. But unfortunately, Fracker just hits so hard sometimes that it doesn't matter. If you see it coming, it'll just blow right past you.
All right, looks like there was a call there, probably rim. Looks like they're talking it over right now.
And in the background, just in case you guys were wondering, is the third place game going on between Hanson Beavers and DP. We're not going to have video of that match, but you might be able to see me take a nasty dive here in a few minutes into the cameras.
Oh, wow. Huge opportunity here for Bunz Gunz, and they convert.
That is such a beautiful set by Cody Thompson. When that ball is falling away from you, to reach over with your right hand, because it is the more comfortable hand for a right-hander to set with that right hand, but that is just such a tough angle and a great break point by Bunz Gunz.
The first thing I'm really realizing about this match is that there really are a lot of breakpoint opportunities here for such a high level of play. What do you attribute that to, Dylan?
I mean, I think the big thing is Bunz Gunz and Chico play each other all the time, and that's definitely something that Cody Thompson referenced after the match was over, is that just some days these teams can read each other like a book, and other days it's just masterful in the way they can get shots around. So I think that whenever you have that rivalry, I mean, we see it in Origin all the time when there's teams that play each other all the time. On any given day, either of these teams could win, which I think makes it so competitive, and why they get so many breakpoint opportunities is they're so used to each other's tendencies.
All right, another breakpoint opportunity, just adding to the list of them. Seems like it's just never going to end.
Let's see what kind of serve Skylar throws at here. Skylar's an interesting server because he has so many weapons to use at his disposal. He has obviously kind of a fuego serve. He has a quick serve. He can put topspin on the ball, and it really provides a lot of different looks at it. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That was me diving into one of our volunteer photographers, and we're obviously so thankful for those photographers because we get the awesome pictures, mostly of Austin gloriously diving. But here I actually dove onto a camera and cut open just below my throat, and thankfully I appreciate all the guys from the finals match coming over and checking on me, but I was okay.
Yeah, Dylan, would you say that you were a little jealous of all the attention I was getting from my injury, and you felt the need to steal some of the limelight?
Exactly.
That sounds about right. But okay, Chico hopping right back in. Huge spike.
That was very interesting there, because if you saw the way that Sean was moving, he was actually in the right spot if it was a low shot. He would have bodied that ball, and Skylar was right there, but Austin, whether it was intentionally or not, went really high. I mean, you saw how high that ball went, and that's just sometimes the little things in the game can dictate a complete point. Nice backhand by Fracker.
Yeah, simple side out from these boys. Again, Fraker showing off his power for sure. All right, let's see what Cody Thompson has.
He's kicking away some of that sand. The sand was a little deep, I have to say. I mean, I'm kind of used to the Montrose Beach in Chicago, which plays more like a grass surface because it's just so thin. So they might just be getting a little bit stuck here and there. Great serve by Sean. And Skylar just read that like a book. Unfortunately, Cody Thompson telegraphed that left a little too quickly, and Skylar is able to rotate right around for it.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to give Skylar that first ball. He's going to put it away with Sean setting, and it happens every single time.
Especially with that touch that Skylar can get on the ball. Oh, good attempted body, but it just falls a little short. Especially with the touch that Skylar gets on the ball. It doesn't matter if he's setting it or receiving for the first time. It almost always goes in the general radius of the net, which is obviously a huge advantage. Oh, nice jump. Nice jump there, but just a little out of reach with Skylar.
A huge hit out of Fraker. You see them running a very similar play. Seems like a rinse, lather, repeat situation. But it's working out well for them because they're staying in this match. Miss, though, from Fraker.
Yeah, I thought for a second that was a good... Was that a good... Oh, no, they're just rotating. I thought for a second that was a good serve. Sometimes from certain angles, especially with the new side pockets, you get a lot of rims that you thought were aces and whatnot, but it seemed pretty clear that all four players agreed that that was a rim.
Mm-hmm. An ace out of Skylar on the short serve, taking advantage of the slow-moving sand that these people are playing in. Looks really deep. Was it deep out there, Dylan?
Yeah, it was incredibly deep for what I'm used to. There was many times I felt like I was the slowest player out there just because I'm not used to playing on sand mostly. But the great thing about both these guys is I'm sure they played on these beaches all the time, and I'm sure they're used to how the sand rotates, so...
Yeah, they're certainly more accustomed to this for sure. Origin Vengeance known for the speed on the ball, not for their speed on their feet. So I'm not surprised to hear that you felt slow out there.
Not exactly.
Oh, looks like we're going to dig out some sand from under the net real quick. Hop right back into it. Skylar checking to make sure he likes the adjustments. Fraker to serve.
Nice angle. And that is something that, oh, it looks like Skylar hit his hand a little bit. That's something that Chico does extremely well. So most defenses that you'll see will have one defender defending the wrap, which in that specific point was Austin. And then Cody will slide in to defend the bowling ball shot. But what's so great about Chico is they can see both those defenders and just split the gap. And that is what they were doing, especially to DP over and over and over in the semifinals. And we just had no answer.
Yeah, there's definitely not an answer that I've come up with yet. When we played Chico at Rocky Mountain Throwdown, that was exactly what we saw out of both players, both of them setting each other the same shot and executing it to perfection.
And I don't think it's any secret that's what makes Chico Spikes such a dynamic team. It's not necessarily that they hit the ball super hard, but they're just understanding and control of the game. It's nice get by Fracker and a good hit. Way to get that ball close. And if you saw that when he ran back, he actually hit that with his left, which is sometimes very difficult to control for right-handed players. But he hit that with his left, and Cody gave him a great set.
Yeah, very impressive way to crash the net and get the kill there. All right, Chico executing a quick little drop shot there.
And I believe that was rim. It was close, but I think it was a rim call. Little history about Bunz Gunz too is I wrote about it a little bit in my recap, but they have actually been a very consistent team ever since they broke into the scene late last year. They actually were the team that knocked off the Handsome Beavers for the first time, since Chico did. And then in this tournament, they knocked them off again. They also took out Origin Elite at the good chase by Skylar. They also took out Origin Elite in 3 games at Nationals, which was at the time a bit of a surprise for everyone. But I mean, as a player who played in that match, they 100% deserved it. They were all kinds of surprisingly quick and fast, and obviously Austin and Cody meshed very well. So I'm really excited to see where this team goes in 2016.
All right, looks like we're debating a high call over here. Skylar raising his hand, showing where that ball was in his mind. Oh, it's Sean, actually. Never mind. All right, is that a reserve then?
I believe they decided to reserve it, yes.
Yeah, it looks like.
That's still one of the calls that is still, even as you try and define it, it gets a little hazy because technically if your feet are planted on the ground and you raise your hand, if that ball is higher than your hand, it's a reserve. However, lots of players just instinctively jump for that ball to play it. So sometimes if they jump and the ball hits their hand, there are players that say, well, did you jump as high as you could? Did you just do a little bit of a mini jump? So it's really a tough call, and what it will come down to, especially in a game without observers, is just kind of gentleman style.
Yeah, definitely good sports in the game, keeping the integrity high, so doesn't seem like there's going to be any sort of shady business in a game like this in the finals.
That last point is a good example of how the body defense doesn't pay off. So Cody Thompson hit a left-handed, and Skylar, I believe it was Skylar, went to body it, and unfortunately it was a weak left-handed hit, but it was over his head, and so he couldn't get it. Whereas if he just played defense staying home, he might have had a better chance to get that ball.
Yeah, Chico somehow finds a way to make the body defense work, definitely influencing a lot of other teams to switch over to that style, especially on sand where you don't have the mobility.
Man, did you see the way that ball just flew off the net there? I mean, these angles that Austin's hitting at, that is he's just hitting the perfect spot of the net, and it just, from a viewer standpoint, it just seems like he's hitting so much harder than any of the other 3 players in this match.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure he has the most power going into this match, and he's taken full advantage of it by really letting the ball get low and jamming it into the pocket and letting that thing spring way past the defense.
And almost instantly as I say that, Sean rockets one pass. Sean is actually extremely deceivingly powerful.
I was going to say deceptive is the first thing that comes to my mind about his hitting. He doesn't look like he's trying super hard, but that thing is flying at you. Oh. Almost a clean contact from Cody. I bet he wishes he had that one back. Oh, what are we talking about now?
Okay, it looks like they are going to rotate. I'm not sure if that was because of the call or because of his every 5 points. Oh, Skylar tries to job serve, and he is upset at himself for that.
Yeah, for sure. Cody Thompson trying to answer back. Oh, there's an
Oh.
opportunity off the lip.
Nice
and
hit
Fraker
by
smacks
Fraker.
that thing backwards. Huge wrap shot.
And that's the thing these days is that, you really cannot get away with a lip anymore.
Yeah,
If
lips
it
are
lips
free
a
balls.
little bit, especially for teams that are just vying for one break, it is a blessing when they see that ball lip. And then, a team like Bunz Gunz, they aren't going to mess up that opportunity.
No, they've got the touch to deal with the spin that comes off of that. They'll equalize it with the first ball, for sure equalize the spin with the second ball, and then just smack the thing as hard as they can. Skylar with a high pass and a low hit to get past Cody Thompson, though.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about. That was a beautiful serve low into the right hand of Skylar, and he just stuck his hand out and almost flicked it to Sean, and it was a perfect pass. And that's why it's so hard to beat Chico, is even when you try and use your serve to an advantage, they still are just so great at serve return that it almost doesn't matter what you do at them.
Yeah, no one's mentioned them in serve receive. Bunz Gunz known for their good serves too, especially their hard hitting serves. And looks like that's the end right there.
So Chico takes game one. I believe the score was 21-19. A very back and forth, as you said, a lot of breaks that happened, or potential breaks that could have happened in that match. But Chico was just able to take it. But still very, very competitive, especially because, Bunz Gunz, up-and-coming team, they just had a long three-setter against Handsome Beavers. You were wondering how much they would have left in the tank, but it seemed like they played very well.
All right, well, here's the real question. Going into game two, do we think we'll see more of that, or do you think that it'll be a little bit more textbook side-out Spikeball?
That's a great question. I don't know, especially because, game two is a must-win for Bunz Gunz. It will be interesting, if they get down early, 5-3, 6-3, do they start just trying to body everything just because they're too tired to chase anything down? Do they try and switch up their game plan and try really hard at the beginning? Do they mix up their serves? What are they going to do in order to take a game off Chico and force a game three in this match? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, everybody knows that it's very difficult to take a game off of Chico. Chico probably just going to go in with the same game plan they always do, which seems to just be win. Is it really that simple, though?
It's really that simple, and they just do it in so many different ways. Like, I was talking to Skylar after the tournament, and he said that they won this tournament by hitting not hard at all. They were just picking angles. So it's almost terrifying because not only are they winning all the time, but they're deciding the way in which they want to win. If they want to win by hitting hard, if they want to win by throwing a bunch of serves out there, if they want to win by angles, they can seemingly choose a day, choose what they're going to do, and roll with it, and just they're that good and that unbeatable at this point.
Absolutely deadly, and that's what makes this match so intense. We'll come back with game two from number 7 Bunz Gunz and number 1 Chico Spikes, both of Fear the West, after this.
So we're back with game two. As we just mentioned, Chico won game one, and it looks like Sean will kick us off serving. And it looks like he's going to be serving to Austin to start this off.
Mm-hmm. Wonder what they're talking about right now.
Oh, they're waiting
have a car
for,
on the field.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to get run over by that, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it was interesting, too, early on in the day, those emergency vehicles, they need a path to drive down the beach. And when the tide was super high, we were really worried about that because we didn't have a path for the emergency vehicles to pass by. And, it looks like it's going to stop and watch for a little bit. That's kind of cool.
Everybody's stopping to watch Fraker smash balls all the way into the crowd.
Easy 1-2-3 for 1-0 Bunz Gunz.
Mm-hmm. Simple start, but it's exactly what you want. You definitely want to start off with a side out.
Oh, nice try at the drop shot. Skylar, I believe, put that behind him? Or
no, it looked like it went right into his body. Cody Thompson, unfortunately, not able to handle it. Skylar, not one to necessarily have to hit away from you in order to score points. Sometimes he just kind of jams you up if you're too close to the net. Skylar almost getting a knee, too. That would have been an awesome break opportunity for them. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out.
As someone that has been bodied several times by Chico, that is the scariest moment in the world when you realize one of them is bodying you and that ball goes back down on the net because you're like, I just hope it bounces twice. I hope it hits rim. I hope it does something else because I'm not as quick to react to that. And they actually got me on one of those in Denver. Skylar kneed a ball that went on and off, and that actually turned out to be the difference in game one.
That was the difference in game one for us, for sure.
That's what's so scary about it. That's what makes Chico special is they can do that kind of play more so than anyone else. Fracker, a nice high serve.
Looks like that was the second one of those, though, back to back, after a little break chasing down that first ball. Chico here to shuffle. Fraker wants it back, though. All right, Fraker realizing that he did in fact double fault. Luckily, they got that right on the field. We're still talking about it though.
A lot of these guys, and as I'm sure most of the community knows, I'm one of them who sometimes they can get into it on the field a little bit, but they're just trying to get the call right. And then off the field, obviously Cody, Skylar, Sean, Austin are great friends. So maybe seems like
what was he going for?
Really
there?
Unnecessary dive, right?
Absolutely
there.
Didn't need to return that massive side pocket serve. Maybe Sean just showing off his athleticism.
I guess he wasn't watching when I literally dove into a camera about 20 minutes before this. So.
And Sean with a perfect pass, and Chico with a rare on-2 put away. That was impressive.
I guess they just have that kind of ability when it's just such a perfect pass like that from Sean. I mean, if Skylar sees both Austin and Cody rotating over to the side to defend Sean's right-handed hit, he's just going to take that on two and try and split the defenders the other way. So great job catching them off guard. And when Skylar does do that, as you said, it is rare, but he just always seems to pick the perfect time.
Yeah, there's nothing scarier than Skylar feeling himself on a shot. If he feels the need to go for that, he absolutely should. It's going to result in a point 99 out of 100 times.
So already in Game 2, it looks like there's a little bit less break opportunities. So we mentioned as being one of the keys to success for Bunz Gunz, jumping on Chico early in Game 2, and it looks like they're pretty neck and neck so far. So we'll see if they can get a few of these in, because you do not want to go late into a game against Chico, either tie it or down a mini break.
No, you definitely want to be up a couple points because they're going to show you something in the later points. Unfortunately, still looking for that break, and they haven't found it yet.
And unfortunately, it was just given right back to Chico. That is a rare poor set by Austin Fracker.
Now that was a sick shot.
That was a great set by Cody, and he instinctively knew that he was setting to the left side, dove to the ground, and Fracker just delivered a laser.
Yeah, it's amazing that he's able to put that thing away with such authority with his left.
Good fake hit by Sean.
Skylar chooses high, and it pays off right over Fraker's head.
Sometimes during games, I'll try and, what's the word for it?
Decide to go high? Is that where you're going with? You're trying to choose the option going
no,
high?
No, it's like to copy.
Oh, yeah, try and mimic?
Mimic, yes, thank you. Mimic, that fake shot set, and mine just don't nearly have the control that, Chico does.
Absolutely shocked you forgot that word. It's a Pokemon move, Dylan.
That's true. That is true.
I don't know much about it, but I do know that one.
That's flango serve right there.
Absolutely. Oh, here's a huge opportunity for Chico. Oh, they don't put it away.
Wow. That was a lot of close body, and it almost seemed like they weren't even playing there. Like, that's what's so crazy about that.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like the rally for serve when you're practicing. It didn't seem like they were really putting much effort into it. A rare occurrence.
But that's actually, in a lot of ways how to play the best up-close defense is that you don't move a lot. You just read the ball, go for the body. Perfect up right there by Skylar, and a great hit back on.
Oh, wow, here.
Oh! Thompson with a great dive, and that might have been the point of the match so far. Those were a lot of athletic plays in there. Firstly, Skylar getting that high touch. A good set by Sean to get it close to Skylar, getting that back on the net, and then Sean swinging around again for a defensive stop. That's just that reflexes, that timing that Chico has that just seems to be half a step above the rest.
Yeah, that's the most frustrating part about Chico. I'm sure Bunz Gunz thought that they for sure had that point put away, but Skylar just poking the ball twice, I believe, in that point in order to keep him in it and ultimately get him the kill.
And that's why, especially in these later rounds, it's so difficult as a player because you can't take any point for granted against Chico. You can't be complacent at all. You can't hit something half speed because even if you don't know it, they might be rotating around your body and you just can't even see them. So you have to be focused at every single point, and that is
another
fantastic.
Unbelievable play out of Chico. Very quick touches. Those are just pure reflexes.
That was an absolute beautiful dive right there by Sean, and that is something that he has been great at. Everyone talks about how great Skylar is at defense, and he really is, the best in the world in my opinion. But Sean also has learned a lot from Skylar and can dive incredibly far and get that ball back with perfect accuracy.
All right, Bunz Gunz looking for an answer to undo some of these break points that Chico's gotten on him. I believe that was a quick little touch. Unfortunately, it doesn't stay forward, and it drifts behind him, and Cody Thompson unable to chase that one down.
It was kind of interesting from both teams so far. Although they primarily choose the body, I have seen what's commonly referred to in the Midwest, at least, as the hand of God, whereas you just try and put that hand out there and try and get a really fast touch and have it back on the net. We first saw it in Summer Spike, of course, in the finals when Peter John did it once or twice to Chico. That's really where it was seen the first time. I'm sure, as with everything, I'm sure Chico did it some other tournament the first time, but
absolutely,
that's really where a lot of the world saw it. They've both teams have tried that quite a bit today, and it really hasn't panned out so far. Very difficult shot to get, and that is a fantastic wrap on the ball right there by, I believe, Skylar.
Yeah, Skylar swinging his body fully around in order to create that angle. Definitely not a natural movement, but for him, someone who's been playing for years and years and years, that's just muscle memory.
It's muscle memory, and a lot of it too is also that tennis hip rotation that he's learned from playing tennis for years and years. Just that becomes very natural to tennis players.
All right, well, Bunz Gunz fires back. Fraker to serve.
Bunz Gunz really starts to need to get some break points here, and I like that a lot by Austin. Like that inverted serve, trying to switch it up, not going straight on. That's what I like to do. When I'm down a few breaks, I need something back. I like to switch up my serves. And
unfortunately, that one doesn't pan out.
Right in front net, and that's a killer for you. Definitely mentally. When you're late in this match, you need to get a few breaks back, and you miss your serves. I mean, that's not even giving yourself an opportunity. Great choice by Cody Thompson to take that on two.
Yeah, I don't think they've even hit on two between game one and now. I think that's the first one, and it pays off in a big way. Chico absolutely not ready for it.
It's definitely more of a successful mentality to almost like beach volleyball, bumps that spike, but every once in a while if you get that perfect two ball, especially in sand, because it's such a hard quick reaction time right away, and oftentimes the defense is rotating for the third hit anyway, it can be such a deadly shot to go on to.
Huge left hand out of Cody Thompson, showing off that they really do use both hands with equal ease, unlike a lot of players in this game for sure.
Austin's serve is somewhat of a mix between a sidearm serve and kind of like a your serve, straight over the top. It's kind of coming at a different angle, which often goes high into the right of the opponents. That can be a very troublesome spot, especially once like that gray area that I talked about in game one, where you don't know if it's high, you don't know how to call it. Like that can be a very good serve.
Yeah, and the speed he puts on that ball is definitely going to put you in situations that are going to allow you to make mistakes, and that's what Bunz Gunz does. They try and capitalize on your mistakes from their huge, massive hits. But on top of the power, they also have that West Coast finesse that they've learned from being in FTW.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a great point, especially just about to say on these sets, especially to Austin. Cody is giving him not a nice high set where Austin has a lot of time. He's just giving him a quick set over in the middle, and then Austin is doing whatever he wants with it. Great body.
For Chico, and perfect placement, just right where nobody is.
And I was just about to say before that unfolded, sometimes you can tell that the point isn't going to go well based on the set, and that was one where Cody Thompson was leaning a little back. He had to hit that off his back foot, and that's when the defense really needs to capitalize.
Yeah, it's one of those out-of-system balls where you realize that their shots are limited, and you can really capitalize on that. Chico not one to miss an opportunity like that.
And again, what's so impressive about that point is instead of doing what a lot of Midwest players do, where if someone's hitting off their back foot, you back up because that ball is probably going to roll pop. They bodied that, and that is just so impressive to me, and that it allows them to be closer to the net for an easy put away.
Yeah, definitely a quick transition, able to kill the ball a lot faster, not give anybody enough time to gather their feet and make a play.
Another missed serve by Cody Thompson, and it's going to go right back to Chico.
Yeah, unfortunately, these missed serves are really adding up for Bunz Gunz, and they're not giving themselves opportunities to get break points because they're not even putting it on the net.
Unfortunately, though, that's kind of what happens as you become more creative with your serves when you're down a few breaks. You try and do almost too much, and you think about it too much, and that's when you start missing a lot. So it's kind of a struggle mentally. You have to get yourself into it where you try different things, but you also remember consistency is the key. You're not going to win the points if you don't get the serves on the nets.
Skyler with one of his patented tweeners there, not between his legs, but he had the option of 2 perfect shots, and he splits the defense. Oh, Sean almost trying to show off with that one. Almost works off.
And there, I think, I might be wrong, but I think Skyler told him to do that because he was so far back there that I don't know if he was running super hard into, but that was a perfect pass.
Yeah, Chico up a couple breaks anyway. They can afford to do that. Definitely would have been an amazing montage moment had they hit that.
You always see those highlight videos that Chico posts or Spikeball posts. I mean, Sean is some of the best highlight hits ever. I mean, he goes between his back, under his legs, does all kinds of creative stuff. So while that shot might seem ill-timed, that is actually a shot he can hit with on a fairly regular basis.
Absolutely.
Another high serve by Austin, and I believe that is
the match.
it. So Chico, not surprisingly, takes the first tour stop, the West Coast San Diego. I believe they lost a total of 1 game in bracket play and just look consistent as always, building off their 2015 success and building off their first win this year in Denver. And it looks like a very hard-fought game by Bunz Gunz, if I do say so myself. They got some great opportunities. Obviously, Austin showed everyone that he can hit the ball, he can serve, he can even play some good defense and body them. But
absolutely.
At the end of the day, it was just too much from Chico.
Yeah, Fear the West looking very, very impressive now. 2 teams making it to the finals, and if you didn't notice in the background, the game 3, the third place game went to Handsome, also Fear the West, so they swept the podium, which is beyond impressive. Definitely going to see that happen a couple times this year, I think.
Definitely, and going forward, what's going to be interesting to see is obviously Chico is the number 1 team in the nation, number 1 team in the West, undoubtedly. But who is going to be the team that comes up and is number 2 in the West? Is it going to be a Hanson Beavers who are trying to rebound from their Nationals round of 16 exit? Is it going to be Bunz Gunz, who made Spikeball Elite? They got second at this tournament. They've been playing way more consistently as of late. Is it going to be Strange Embrace, who finished second at Nationals, which really got them on the radar, and then they finished 4th at Fleury, which was a highly competitive tournament? Are they going to get better tournament finishes than they did today when they actually lost the round of 16 to a new team called Phenomenabomb? Or is it going to be Team Paul's Classy Vacuums, who is an extremely difficult serving team? They have some of the best serves in the game right now, and if they can get those more consistent, maybe get a little better draw in their brackets. They unfortunately had to play Bunz Gunz in the round of 8. Can they go deep in the tournament? So Fear the West is such a dangerous club because they have so many amazing teams, and it's just going to be interesting to see who takes over as that number 2 team, and then can anyone outside the West take a top 3 spot from Fear the West at any of these tour stops? Even Santa Monica, which has a ton of great teams coming. Fear the West right now looks like unbeatable.
Oh, yeah, no, Fear the West absolutely exerting their dominance in this tournament. They're trying to make a statement here that they are, in fact, the number 1 club, trying to take that back from Origin, and at this point, it looks like they're proving it, but Origin will absolutely not give up on this at all. Unfortunately, Vengeance will not be in attendance for the next 2 West Tour stops, but absolutely looking to cause some damage in Santa Monica in May, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely one that I'm excited to actually play with my normal partner for, and hopefully, along with some other teams, we can, give the West a run for their money. That's always fun to have competition in the sport. But yeah, obviously, as you can see, closing to a great day. The sun is setting as Bunz Gunz and Chico takes their picture. The next West Coast tour stop is going to be San Francisco on March 12th. Following that, the next weekend is actually the first stop on the Southeast Tour, which is Charleston on March 19th. And, once we start to get to March, April, May, this is when the bulk of the tournament season comes up. This is when you have ambassador tournaments seemingly every weekend. This is where you have tour stops, 3 times a month. So it's going to start to get really exciting. But yeah, definitely a great start. Great day to have the West Coast Tour Series begin. And, I just can't wait to see what the rest of 2016 holds.
Yeah, I can't either. One thing I do want to mention is that if you want to see more exciting things, you should go to USA Spikeball and check out the rally. It's a specific area where players like us are creating content for everybody in order to keep people up to date on stuff, give people some innovative ideas, share videos, and we're also doing the player rankings, which surely will be interesting to see the results after this tournament. So.
Absolutely, and a big shout out to Mike White, Anthony Wrench, everyone who's putting in work for the rally. It's just so cool that blog is solely, influenced and driven by the community. We do it because we love the sport and we want to produce content to get more people aware of this sport and have it grow more so than it has, already, and which has been incredible, the growth since, competitive Spikeball really started in 2014. But, I think that's a wrap for us, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be commenting on many, many, many matches throughout the season, bringing it to you guys on the rally, uploading it. So if you have any suggestions on what we can improve on, any comments, any questions, we'd be more than willing to hear those. We're always open to that. But until next time, this is Dylan Fogarty from Vengeance signing off.
And this is Chris Hornacek from Vengeance signing off. Follow us on Origin RoundNet on all social media platforms, and we'll see you next time.